All right, you know why you're here. Of course you do. You're here to talk art. You're here to make art. You're here to think about art. You're here to draw along. You're here to wonder why you don't draw as much as you do. Or if you're on the right side of things, you're wondering how it's possible that you do draw as much as you do. To all of you, whatever your current state, whatever your nature, whatever your philosophical inclinations, I say, welcome. Welcome to the stream. How long will we draw? Well, history shows that no one really knows. How long will we design? Also, no one really knows. How long will we ruminate? Think about what we're doing? How long will we philosophize? How long will we wax rhapsodic? Nobody knows. No one knows. Just like no one really knows how long they get to do anything. So enjoy it while you have the chance. Get to drawing. Get to being creative. Get to having fun. How's everybody doing? It's been a bit. Good to see you all. Hope you're all drawing well, drawing happily and peacefully. Wanted to get back into this couple sketches that I did this morning. See what I find, maybe do another one. It was based on these are my photographs. I took these while I was down on my trip. Took these at the New Orleans Botanical Garden and got inspired by these. There's a bunch more. I just picked a few that were particularly inspirational and that I remembered very fondly from my trip. And yeah, just basing a bit of a beastie on them. A little bit of a monster. Slowly adding to this creepy dark electro play mix. That seems to be on vibe for about half the stuff we draw on stream. Looks like Sai Orochi from One Punch Man. For the record, I've never seen anything. I've never consumed any media. I don't watch any movies, any television, play any video games, anything. I've never consumed a single thing, so if anything that I draw looks like something, they stole it from me. They're all time travelers. They all looked at my legendary history-defining art streams in the distant future, came back in time, and used my designs to build their properties off of. Just like if you could go back in time right now, you'd like start the Beatles or invent the iPhone, right? Same thing, just everything that you're watching, everything that you're enjoying in popular culture right now, just time travelers using my designs after I've made them. Just for the record. Typical day in my life, you know, if it's a drawing heavy day, you're looking at it, you know? It's just this with either the camera on or off. And then if it's not this, who knows what else I'm doing? God, what else am I doing? I'm not drawing. I'm probably answering emails, thinking about drawing, writing about drawing, recording things, speaking with students. And then besides that, you know, I'm sure my day looks a lot like yours. I relax. I walk. I pet my dog. I talk to my wife. I watch TV with her. I read. Occasionally I get to dance. That's nice. Sometimes I even go on vacation. What is the plant on the right called? I don't know what it is called, what its particular species was, but this was in a display at the New Orleans Botanical Garden called Living Fossils. So it was all plants that were like really old, like pre-dinosaur old, and this is a fern. So it's a lot like modern ferns that sort of fold up and then unfold in a day and night cycle. It's like that, but yeah, I only put 2 photos here, but I took like 30 photos of this thing because I thought like, my God, that just looks like a perfect sublime alien tentacle, right? Doesn't that just look like a perfect Cthulhu tentacle or something like that? Cooler than anything you'd invent, where it's like it branches off symmetrically and each one becomes its own tentacle, and then it has its own fractal tentacles coming off of each tentacle. Rad. But yeah, some kind of ancient fern. I didn't take photos of any of the display placards of any of these, so I actually can't, unfortunately, I can't tell you what plant they actually are. If my friend Omar was in here, he could probably identify a few of them. Can you tell us your story? How did you get into art? What were the challenges you faced while defining your career? It's wonderful to listen to you. Thanks for sharing. Well, I'm very glad that you are enjoying listening to me. Yeah, my story is, well, I've said it in a lot of places. I think like most artists, the undercurrent of my journey is that, my God, I love drawing, and I've ducked, weaved, searched, fought, white-knuckled and gritted my way towards just what can I do in life to keep me drawing, and I've just based everything on that. And here I am, 31 years in, and I have not had to give up yet, so things are going well by my estimation. Don't need to render a living everything out of this, though I would need to if I really wanted to wrap it up and present it nicely, but I do want to go look at another design, but I just don't want to leave it behind until I've made the statement, you know? And to me, well, it's really up to you where the statement is made, but, you know, a lot of people can stop when they feel like they can see the rest just in their head. I've come not to trust that. I'm like, yeah, I thought I could see it in my head. And then once I start drawing what I thought was in my head, it turns out that that was all an illusion. So I usually consider the statement made on a design like this when I just got from head to toe with some design consideration. So I've thought about design up here and all the way down here and everywhere in between. So it doesn't need to be rendered, the shapes don't need to be super refined, but instead of just an indication, I've just made some design statement that I think fits head to toe, top to bottom. And then I can move on. So I'm just gonna redo this guy. I want to redo this guy as a plant thing. So I want to, you know, succulent him up, add some plant shapes and stuff like that. So I could go back and do that in a bit, but maybe for now I will, yeah, I might as well look at a new idea. And then if my new idea doesn't interest me, then I can go back to that first one and redo him. Lanty. Steven, do you have a schedule for these live sessions? Do you do them weekly and at what time? No, I don't really have a schedule. I do them when I can. It's really easy to burn out doing art, so if I'm perfectly honest, if I was like, it's every Thursday no matter what, I'm the most gritty, you know, I'm so disciplined, I show up here every time, like art is just any other job, like you just show up and you do the work, it's not about motivation. If I do that, they're not going to get made. But because I'm flexible, I do them pretty often. Better this way, I think. What should I do if I feel overwhelmed by the amount of ways or methods there are to study drawing and painting, like the constructive approach and the observational approach? Should I grab both? That's what I did. Just subsume it all. Take what works from one, abandon what doesn't work, combine it with what works from another. Just do that over and over and over again. That's what always worked for me. No method, no school, no way of thought on its own is the answer. They all need to be combined, and they need to be made better through your lens, your opinions, your preferences, and your taste. Anything less than that will always fall short. And surely anyone who executes perfectly within the bounds of any particular art school is someone who executes perfectly within the bounds of tear-jerking boredom. And you don't want that, do you? I'm trying to think of different designs for the 3 biblical archangels, but it's hard to escape the common representations. Yeah, you gotta get out. You've got to escape. You've got to empty the cup. Put something new in there. Go look at something you've never looked at before. Go take a trip to some unexpected place. Go get on someone's boat and have them take you wherever they want. And if they take you somewhere scary, don't defend yourself. Go with them. If they open a scary door, don't defend yourself. Just go through the door. Only way to be a good artist. Just get out there and get yourself in some serious trouble. One day, modern day James is telling us to go get punched, and next Stephen is telling us to go with strangers and not resist. Real art education is quite wild, it seems. Yeah, what'd you expect? Art's weird. Get on board, let's go. What else is up, people? Come on. Come on. What's wrong? It's just fun to draw the stuff. It's fun to draw the stuff. I draw the stuff. On Monday night, I draw the stuff. All night, I'd do it more if I could. On second thought, I think I will. I'll draw the stuff. I'll draw the stuff all night. Do you do something when you're burnt out to escape that period? Do whatever it takes. I'm getting out at any cost. I'll even go so far as to not draw and rest. That's right. That's the kind of insane freak that I am. When I'm really, really burnt out, I'm so out of my mind, I'm so crazy, I'm so out of control that I'll actually take a day off. I'll go read, or just sit and look at trees for a whole day. Or I'll like do something fun. Play a game I've never played before. Or like just do something weird I've never done before. Like pick up a weird hobby just for a day and then put it down after a day. Or like do some weird craft, like making macaroni bracelets or something like that. Or I'll just veg. Hardcore veg. For a whole day. Sometimes more than a day. You know what's great about sitting and doing absolutely nothing for no reason with no ulterior motive? So you get rested really quick, then pretty soon you're like, because I feel like doing something. If I'm just tired, yeah, I just take time off. Like, that's not a big deal. My body will thank me. I've been drawing so long and just made so much art that it's like, what could it matter? You know, just a day or two here or there really doesn't add up to anything in the long run compared to the crazy amount of drawing that I have done. But that's just being tired. I think true burnout, where it's like, it's more than that, you know? You rest your body, you rest your mind, and you still are experiencing resistance. That's like an emotional thing. There's like some sort of, there's a blockage, you know? You're thinking too much about your mom or something like that. And those things need to be addressed if you really want to get to the core of that, of deeper burnout. Like, burnout is more often caused by doing work you hate for one reason or the other. Either because you feel like that's what you have to be doing, or you're forced to by work, or being straddled with the expectations of others, or yeah, it's usually some sort of cognitive dissonance, just pushing yourself to do something that you actually don't like, to impress either yourself or others, and that causes a deeper, more existential burnout. That is a different thing to get out from under. Are you attempting to... hold on a second. You're crazy, yes. Logan says, love to see the streams again, Steven. Glad you've come out of the work hole to greet us with such great weird content. Well, you know, I'd love to keep it weird. Love to draw some monsters. Raina says, are you attempting to suggest that taking a break actually leads to more productivity? Yes, but also, I have to say, I think it's a bad idea to rest with an ulterior motive. I don't think that's good either. I think that that's just our cultural programming sneaking in through the back door. I think that as an artist, when you rest, you should really rest. Don't do it for any reason. Don't do it for what it's going to benefit you later. Don't do it so that the work is better later. Don't do it so that you're working hard, playing hard. Turn all of that crap off and rest for no reason. Rest the way you would rest even if you knew the rest would make the work worse. Do it for that. Rest for its own sake. Rest because you don't need to just explode outward all the time, trying to reach other people's expectations, your own unvetted expectations, just the weird, impulsive little goals and standards that society has given to you. Rest because you don't really need to do anything else, right? Like, rest because you're secure enough in yourself and generous enough with yourself that you do not need to constantly be outputting in order to prove that you're living your life right, either to yourself or to your family or to your friends or your partner, whoever, right? All of that stuff, if not kept in balance, becomes a rot, a growing, tangled, lichenous growth on the art practice that slowly strangles it and becomes extremely difficult to extricate yourself from. I would avoid that at all costs. Practice letting yourself rest for absolutely no reason as often as you can. Just go all the way back to center. Go back to what you are way down, deep down at your core. And what you are at your core is, it's already achieved. It's already given. You're good. You know, you're nothing but the ontological nature of the universe, right? Whatever the end of philosophy is, whatever the end of science is, whatever the ultimate answer to the ultimate question is, you're already living it, baby. So give yourself a second to just sit in it, because you already achieved the miracle. Everything else is just icing on top. Took your advice and have been working on a project for a few weeks now, but it feels like it's stagnated. I'm a lot more focused on this than other long-term projects I've attempted, but I'm kind of lost on how to put ideas together. Show it to friends. That's usually a good idea when you feel like it's stagnated. Show it to some of your art friends or any art teachers that you may have. Have them beat it up for you. The best thing I can recommend about that is present it to them. Like do a little, like explain it to them as clearly as you can. Don't BS it. Like write something and tell it to your friend or partner or whoever you're showing it to. Try to put into words as seriously as you can what you think is going on here. Do not just sit with them and go, yeah, so I think it's made like, I thought kind of, like don't do that for a half hour. The more useful thing is write down for yourself what you think the project actually is. In the writing, you're going to realize that you hadn't thought through anything. You were just dealing with abstract concepts, and as soon as you try to put them into words, you'll realize that all of that is less than dust. Those are just mind clouds, and you have so much left to think through. And writing it out will help you do that, and then having to speak it to a person with precision instead of just BSing it will reveal to you in a way that you really do not understand right now, will reveal to you what you actually think the project is. When I teach these project-based classes, when I have in the past, I have the students present the project every week, right? If I'm teaching like a 14-week class, I have them present it 14 times. And there's just no getting around it. Having to say it earnestly over and over again every time transforms it. You know, your abstract thoughts, the weird, muddy images that you work with when you're just working on your own. There's so little there. There's really so little there. You need to say it. You need to present it. You need to explain it to someone else. My problem is that I try to add all these cool things I see to my art, but they don't mix well. Well, that might be a different problem. That might be a lack of design knowledge and taste and experience. If that's really the problem, like blending parts of one influence into another, that you'll just get better with time. Understand that something on that level, something with that kind of scope, you're touching upon something there where it's like, if you could blend that well, and if you could have the good taste for when to pull back and when to add it, you're kind of ready for a career. Like, that's a career defining skill set. So it is hard, and there's no need to like rush or like think that you need to be good at it right now. The ability to blend influences well, yeah, if you're really nailing it, it's like you're just ready to be a designer, a professional designer. So it's tough stuff, tough skills. It's not easy. It's really not easy. I'd say the beginning of that road is understanding what the constituent parts are. Start there, I would say. So break things down into the elements of design, the elements of art. So line, value, shape, texture, form, space, negative space. If you've never heard those words, go look them up, start doing some basic research, and then add on top of that the principles of design. So contrast, rhythm, emphasis, hierarchy, variety, economy, repetition, movement, continuity, unity. And again, if you haven't heard a lot of those words, go look up the principles of design and start doing some basic research. There's no solid answers there. There's no like one go-to answer on any of those things. Any one of those things is a very deep realm in and of itself, but those are the foundations. And for my money, if you can sort of wrap your head around that stuff, they are what will allow you to duck, weave, dance, pivot, change, and be unstoppable when it comes to making tasteful designs. But I don't want to lie to you, what you described, it is that at its core. It's being a tasteful designer. And like I said, that is career and often life defining. So it's not like a step or like a little thing. It's kind of like an overall goal, you know? Anything Goes says, I'm always thinking about how to optimize, but I'm also completely incapable of focusing for longer than an hour or two or most. I think that may be an ADHD thing or something. It might be. Actually, to me, an hour or two sounds like good. That sounds like a lot. I think doing 2 hours of work as an artist is super healthy. And then, you know, if you could do another 2, after a long break, you could do another 2 hours. That's 4 hours. That's huge, right? If it's real work, if it's deep work, 4 hours is, I don't really think you need much more than that. You know, I used to get caught up on numbers and dump, you know, I was obsessed with putting 8 hours on the clock or more every day. But I left that behind. These days, I try to cut myself off at 4-ish on most days, you know, especially if I'm only doing one thing. Try not to do that for more than 4 hours. Today's I'm at 7 hours on one thing today, but I try not to do that a lot. Experience has taught me that that's a recipe for burnout. So I actually don't think an hour or two is really bad, you know. It's like, it's more about quality over quantity. I've been studying fundamentals for a while now, but every time I want to design something, I feel that they look really generic most of the time. Any tips to avoid that? Most designs will always look generic because designing unique things is very hard. It's professional level stuff. So you're asking me to give you a tip that, yeah, if you could design stuff that didn't look generic, it's like you're ready to work, right? That to make, in the ultimate sense, unique designs that aren't generic is just, that's industry ready, right? People are going to pay for that. So What I usually advise people to do is to be influenced and be influenced well. Get judicious about what you think is good and what is bad. Be super opinionated. Be able to write down your opinion. Be able to put it into words. Make it so that you could say to someone what your opinion is about what is better shapes, what is better lines, what is better values, what is better colors. You pile enough of those up on top of each other and you collect grade influences that you are super judicious about, right? It doesn't matter. It's like, all right, it has a lot of likes, but I think it's crap, so screw it. No, this is what's really good. Other people don't understand. Like, be a prick about it, you know, be super pretentious about it. Be like, have a super high bar. Just say, I like nothing, right? And adopt a dark cynicism about anything that's likable, and then hold on to the things that break through that cynicism and make you go, whoa, now that's good. Collect those. And that's the beginning of being able to make unique designs, as far as I can tell. It's a hard row to hoe, you know? Most people will go their whole careers making generic things because unique is tough. Unique is tough. Looks like Steven is in the zone. Always in the zone. Bit of a weird question, but is there anything that you've personally found that might hamper your creative process? Have you found any contingencies and navigate them? I've done nothing but find things that will hamper my creativity. I have a very neurotic classic artist brain, so my mind is more prone to offer reasons for why I should not be creative than to offer reasons to be creative. So yeah, unfortunately, I've got nothing but what you said. And essentially my whole art practice is nothing but tailor-made little contingencies to get me around those things. So bit of a big question to answer. I have gone through every kind of hampering over the years, I would say. I've been having fun just doing the design stuff on stream. I did a past couple streams, I did like a biomechanical skeleton totem holding thing. That was a lot of fun. I always have fun doing just straight design stuff on the stream. This is always a pleasure for me. This is really what you're watching me do here. This is what I have always done in my sketchbook since I was a little kid. The picture making stuff, like making complete pictures, I feel like that evolved later. Like I added that on. That's actually not my core natural process. Just this. This is what I was always doing in my sketchbook. It was just character, creature, object, one thing, isolated, focused. Not about the scene, not about its interaction with the environment, just how well can you design the topology, the surface, the nature of this one form and put it on paper. Rehearsing that over and over and over again as a kid, that's what made me go into design, and this is just an extension of that. It just happens to be digital, and I get to do it in color because digital makes it easy to sling color, but this is exactly what my sketchbooks have always been. They're most natural. No scene, no composition, just you make the one thing look cool. That was always my favorite thing to do. What is the best place to start learning from the very beginning? There is no good answer to that. It depends too much on what your goal is. As an artist, I think generally you got to get used to, very early on, you should get used to picking your own path. So step one, the real best place to start is write down your goals. Write your goals, what you think your goals are as best as you can understand them, in one sentence, 5 sentences, and then 1 page, right? Do all 3 levels. And then doing all 3 levels will really make hyper clear for you what you actually think you want, what you're actually heading towards. It should not be easy. It should take you a long time to write it out. You should have to think about it for quite a bit of time. It should take a few days, I would say. So be very thoughtful about it, be very circumspect about it. You'll learn a lot as you do that. And then I think you'll find that having gone through that process, it'll be much clearer for you to prioritize, like, clearly anatomy is very important to me. I have to go learn anatomy. Clearly values are very important to me. I have to go learn values. Clearly color is not that important to me. I can maybe push it for later. So prioritize in that way. My dear artists, let me thank you for being here tonight. I greatly appreciate it. You're all artists of the first order, I must say. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And as you go forward in the world of art, and as you make more pictures and you put more things out there, just remember that you've kind of already pulled it off, right? By making anything, the ultimate part of the goal has already been achieved. The truth is that everything in life is hypnotizing people into not being creative, into not being artists, into not having the gall to claim that they are a creative person and that they have creative impulses and that they want to generate. So that feeling that you have deep down that has gotten up to a level where you will hold it close to your chest, that you will make it the secret bird living inside of your ribcage. That was the hard part. Everything else, the managing the career, the putting it out there, the improving the skills, that's all trappings. That's all extra stuff. Every time that you draw, every time that you put pencil to paper, every time that you output in the throes of the creative urge, the war is truly won. You did a wonderful job. You added something that should be impossible to the cosmos. There's no reason that drawing needed to work. There's no reason that we should be able to show each other images that mean anything to each other. There's no reason that dust on paper or flickers of light on a screen should be able to cast a magic spell on another person and make them see permanently, unchangeably, what you wanted them to see. Sometimes things that aren't real, that never were real, that never will be real. I mean, when you look at it, when you look at all the parts, when you look at it on paper, it really should have been impossible. But here it is, a given, granted, something that you can pursue if you want. What a miracle, man. Who cares if you do it well by someone else's standards? Who cares if it makes your dad happy? Who cares what anybody else thinks about it? Take advantage of the shot that you have to do it and enjoy it. Good night, everybody.